Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Could you please keep your mics muted, please? If your mic is on, please mute your mic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Put it in the chat. Let me know how you guys are all doing. I hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome to the business Launchpad Incubator Plus program. This is now the third session, so I hope you guys are all um excited and ready for today's session that Obed is about to deliver. Please let me remind you all to just keep your mics on mute whenever Obed is speaking. Only turn on your mic if you've been given the license to speak. But please, like, if you have any thoughts or any questions, please leave it in the chat and Obed will be able to respond to you as soon as he can, or I will respond to it in the chat whilst I'm in there. Also another thing, for marketing, we just need you guys to turn on your cameras. So if you can, for a moment, just turn on your cameras so we can get some screenshots because we need this for our marketing. Yeah, so I just need you guys to have your cameras on so that I can obviously get the screenshots. And then and yeah. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Obed, who will now be delivering the session. So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoy. Um, and yeah, Obed, over to you.
Thank you, Giovanni. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. I hope you all had a productive day. And I'm hoping that this session is going to be productive. Please, if you can, it would be amazing for you to turn on your camera for our marketing to get a screenshot for marketing. Now, again, like what I said to you 2 weeks ago, this is a free opportunity to pretty much market what you're doing, which goes in line with your personal branding and also the business. So please, if you can, do turn on your camera so she can take a picture. In the chat, I just want to get a feel for how everyone is doing. How was your day? You can just literally just put it in a chat just so that I know how you're doing, how you're feeling. If you just put it in a chat, how you're doing, how you're feeling this evening for our session. This session is going to be a lot of information, a lot of activities, but mainly please put it in a chat, how you're doing, how you're feeling, how's everything going. Let me know in the chat. Anita, Chloe, Jazinho, Kiana, Larissa, how are you doing? Please put it in a chat. How is everything going? How are you feeling? Okay. Please put it in a chat how you're feeling so we can get the show on the road. So Larissa said, busy day. I hope you're going to be a little bit less busy in this session. Fantastic. I hope you're going to be a little less busy. Chloe, feeling good. Jazinho, feeling good. I'm good, figuring things out. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm feeling ready. That's what I like to hear, Patrick. Fantastic, you're feeling ready. Feeling ready. That's what I'd like to hear. Please do turn on your camera for our marketing to take your screenshots, right? This goes in line with marketing your business and documenting the journey. So please do take advantage of this. It's free marketing for what you are doing, okay? For what you are doing. It's free marketing. I am waiting for a signal from the team so that I know you're done. Then we take it to the next level. All right, so this session is going to be about the things that a lot of us kind of take for granted, especially as an entrepreneur. One of the main ways to fund your business is through working for someone. okay? Working for someone. One of the ways to fund your business is working for someone. And we want to make sure that when you are ready to go and do, let's just say, part-time work, full-time work, any type of commitment that you need in order to raise money for your business, you're putting your best foot forward. It's incredibly important that you have this information. It's incredibly important that you have this information. Now, I'm going to share my screen just so that we can get the show on the road. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. All right. Okay. I hope you can all see my screen, and it says Business Launchpad, your CV, your story, building a standout CV for job opportunities. Okay. I know for some of you, you're probably in work. Some of you, you're whether you're in full-time, part-time, but I will be talking to you around CV, but more in line with using it as a vehicle to fund your business. Okay. Now, you need a source of income. Building a successful business isn't necessarily only based on having a dream or having a concept. You need a way to put money into the business. It's something that is very much needed. Okay. Now, in this workshop objectives, one of the main things are understand the purpose of a CV and how it's used in job application process, learn the essential components of a CV and how to structure them effectively, gain strategies for tailoring a CV to a specific job or industry, leave with a draft CV or improvements to an existing one. So that just simply means you need to be taking notes. You need to be taking notes. So if you don't have your pen and paper, please get your pen and paper, whatever you need to ensure that you're not going to forget whatever I'm going to be speaking about and sharing with you. Please take notes. Super, 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 super important. I'm just going to give 5 seconds for you to maybe grab a pen, paper, maybe another phone or tablet, whatever you need to use to take your notes. Please grab it now, just so that we can get the show on the road. Okay. So I'm just going to go around just for us to get a feel for where we are and things of that nature. So I would want anyone, and I'm just looking for a few people, not too many people, anyone to introduce yourself, share 2 facts about your background and 1 strength you are proud of achieving. Now, in our last session, I spoke about being a partaker when you're in a group setting or when you're in a session. Please don't sit at the back. Don't feel like you don't have a voice. Even if you have, even if you find it difficult to engage in a group setting, sometimes you're just going to have to take a leap of faith. Okay. So if anyone can unmute and introduce themselves and share 2 facts about your background and 1 strength you're proud of achieving. Anyone can unmute and go ahead and share. Anyone. Before I call names, anyone can unmute. Don't wait. Don't
Um,
wait for someone. Fantastic. When you're ready.
Hello, my name is Melenji, and 2 facts about my background. I guess I'm Malawian, so that's where the origin starts. And also, I've just come out of full-time work, so I was working for 6 years in legal contract management. Um, yeah, well, I guess what I'm proud of achieving is full independence. So I just plan to scale that and improve that. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else wants to go? Anyone else wants to go? Giovanni, can you keep an eye out in the chat just in case anyone puts something in there? Anyone else wants to go? Unmute. Full vim. Full vim. Anyone else?
Right, I think I'll just go. So hey everyone, I'm Maru, and my background mainly was geoinformatics engineering that I changed into artificial intelligence. Now I'm doing my PhD in it and trying to set up a business in the same field that I am like researching about. So yeah, I think so. The main strength that I'm proud of achieving is that I've been like it was difficult for me to shift my career and the scene of my subjects. So I'm evolving around it. So I'm proud of it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for so much for sharing. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Take that step. Anyone else? Anyone else? Don't wait for someone. Take that step. Take that step.
Hey, I can go. Hey everyone. Sorry, I was just sorting out something in my kitchen. So, two facts about my background. I guess a heritage fact is a really important one. So, my family are Jamaican, and another fact about me is that I trained and qualified as a lawyer. I think one strength I'm super proud of achieving in line with my heritage when I was at university, I set up a society called the Caribbean Union to really deal with the fact of unrepresentation of Caribbean students in uni and the fact that the Caribbean community are a lot more likely to drop out of university because of lack of community. And I set that up a long time ago. I feel like one of those adults when you really remember that you're actually grown. And the other day I saw the society pop up on my Instagram feed and it's still running strong. And I was like, oh, my baby. So yeah, I'm super, super proud of that. So yeah, that's me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. So much. And I'm glad you actually set that up. I'm really glad you did. Last person. Last person. Last person.
Yeah, I'm happy to go. So, two facts about me is that I'm a artist and also like a data analyst. I work with data, so it's I've had a passion for both of those things, and I've always followed those. And one fact about me is that I've had my artwork in a exhibition that represents talent from the BAME community, so the Black Asian minority, and it was a very successful, and it got toured around different places in the UK. It also got exhibited in the same gallery that Banksy was exhibiting at. So that's a bit about me.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. Those of you that spoke, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. So I just want to go over a few things, right? And I'm going to give you a broader perspective on different things I'm going to be speaking about, right, as we go through. So some of the things I'm going to talk about is an expansion of what you see in front of you, but not everything. So this is why I am encouraging you to take notes, okay? Because I'll be putting a wider kind of perspective on the slides to come. Okay, understanding CV and of course the purpose of it. Okay, the role of a CV is for you to use it as a marketing tool, right? We all know that. To highlight your skills and experience, right? And your CV is a tailored document to promote your professional capabilities. Okay, a CV serves as a personal advertisement of your achievements and qualifications. Okay, as your achievements and qualifications. And we all know that, right? And I'm going to run through like we all know what a bad CV is. We all know what a bad CV is. Okay, this is an example of a bad CV. Now you may feel that, oh, okay, I like this font. That's why I'm using it, right? But remember, your CV is not for you. It's for the person that is looking to employ. So of course, the fonts you may like, but is it readable? Okay, the colors you've used, is it a welcoming colors? Right, when you look at this font, it's quite hard to read and it's quite off-putting, it's not inviting, okay? When you go into this, now this is another version of a CV, but this goes into almost like a dissertation, a storyline, okay? A dissertation, a storyline. And typically when I'm employing someone or I am recruiting for a member of staff to join the team, right? The first section I look at is your experience. I don't even read a personal statement in my honest kind of way of rating people, because I know the personal statement is going to say the same things that everyone's personal statement is going to say. Right? I am great. I am driven. I am welcoming. I know, right? Nobody's going to say I am bad in their personal statement. So I skip straight to the experience. And if I see your experience written in this format, one, it's very hard for me to consume a lot of information in a short space of time when I have to read paragraphs, right? But I can easily consume it if it's in what? Bullet points. Okay, if it's in bullet points. If it's in bullet points. Okay, your educational, your work experience, those are one of the main sections within your CV. One of the main sections within your CV. Okay, so as you can see with this CV, it's literally bullet points. So it's easy on the eye and it's actually easy to actually read. Right? It's very, very easy to read. Now, when you look at this CV, you can see how it's laid out. Yeah, when you look at this CV, you can see how it's laid out. Now, we have the employment history, we have the education. Okay, the person didn't list their GCSEs. They just listed their most relevant qualification or their most recent qualification. Yeah, because if you have a BSc or if you have a degree or anything in that correlation, we would assume that you have your A levels. We would assume that you have your GCSEs. Yeah, the whole point of this is that you get to a point where you're communicating information in the shortest and easiest way possible for it to be consumed by the potential employer. Okay. Now, in terms of your CV and things of that nature, one of the main key components outside of your experience and of course your educational background, right? You need to make sure your contact information is on there. Contact information. If it's your number, email, if you're someone that if you don't really check your emails often, put a little kind of note next to your email or your number to say preferred mode of contact is this. Okay, just so that an email is sent and you don't miss it. Yeah, your personal profile, your professional summary. Some companies read it, most don't, because they go straight to your work experience and your education. Right? But still put it there just for formalities, but it isn't necessarily needed, especially in certain fields, in certain professions, you wouldn't have it on there. Okay, your hard skills and soft skills, and it's good to be able to differentiate this, your hard skills and your soft skills, right? Your hard skills are skills that can be quantified, that can be measured, right? Your hard skills are something that can be quantified or can be measured. So when we talk about hard skill, is if you're a programmer, if you're a graphic designer, if you're a surgeon, if you're a business administrator, if you're, these are skills that can be quantified. We can actually measure it, right? Your soft skills is more communication, presentation, confidence, persuasive skills, things of that nature. It's good to highlight that as well. Your teamwork skills, it's good to be able to differentiate that and not mix it, right? You can actually have a title, hard and soft skills or interpersonal skills, and then list them again in bullet points. Don't do story time. List it in bullet points. Okay. Then of course, education and qualifications. So you would want to use your most recent and or the most relevant qualification. Okay. You don't need to go as far as your GCSEs. If maybe you've done your A-levels or maybe you've got your degree or master's, you don't need to go that far back. Okay. Optional section, voluntary projects, hobbies, publications. These are things that is almost an added bonus to your application or your CV to let them know that, look, I have done something, I have been recognized for this, or I actually go out and provide support on a voluntary basis to people. So I am not only passionate about this role, but I also do it in my free time, something in correlation to it. Okay. Now the formatting tips, it needs to be clean layout, a clean layout, consistent fonts, no more than 2 pages. Okay. Realistically, you should try and squeeze all your CV to a 1-pager realistically, right? Which is you listing your most relevant work experience. You don't need to list work experience that you've done in year 10 when you done your work experience. So you don't need to list something that you've done. If you have a lot of work experience, pick the most relevant ones and put it there. Okay. The most relevant or recent ones, put it there and talk about it. Again, in bullet points. Don't do too much in terms of writing a storyline, because it's going to be hard for the employer to actually take in all that information. You want them to get the information as quick as possible. Okay. Now, these are some of the ways that I would say write your CV in terms of your experience or your responsibilities within job roles, right? So talking about your achievements within your job roles, if you're saying you managed a team, right? Don't just put, I managed a team, right? Change it to, you managed a team of 5, improving project delivery times by 20%. So give context. Always give context, right? Give context to the keyword of you being able to manage a team. Okay. Instead of saying handled customer complaints, because sometimes when you speak to someone, oh, within my job, I handled customer complaints. Go as far as understanding the benefits of you actually handling customer complaints and the effect of you handling the customer complaints, right? So it's looking at it from the perspective of, I resolved 50 plus customers complaints monthly, achieving a 95% customer satisfaction rate. Now, when you write something like that, not only does it show that you know what you're doing, but it shows a level of leadership where you're actually going in to find out the statistics regarding your input within the role. Okay. So instead of saying train new employees, and a lot of us do that. When you're in a role for some time, you train new employees, but sometimes the way we communicate it on our CV isn't necessarily the best way. Okay. So trained and onboarded 15 employees over a 6 months period, reducing onboarding time by 25%. Okay. Again, context. Give context to what you're saying, because it helps the employer or the person that's recruiting to have a basic kind of understanding to what you're saying you have a skill in or you have experience in. Okay, it is very, very important. It is very, 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 very important. Yeah, analyzing job descriptions. A lot of us and a lot of people are guilty of this, is that we have one CV and we use that one CV to apply for every single role. Again, this whole thing that I'm speaking to you about is making sure that when you need to get a job, when you need to get some money coming in through you working, you're putting together the best CV to ensure that you can do it. Okay, you're putting together the best CV, right? Tailoring a CV to a job. Now, read the job description. Read the job description and understand exactly what they're requesting for. Do everything in your power to make sure you understand everything that they're requesting for. And then look at your CV, read your CV, and ask yourself or speak to a friend or a family member, someone, and ask them, does this CV communicate that I am the best person for the requested job description in the JD? Okay, speak to someone so you have that understanding. Don't look at it and just say, you know what, I'm going to throw a lot of balls or a lot of things on the wall and hope that one stick. Be strategic. Be strategic. Okay, look for action verbs, technical tools, soft skills that aligns with your expertise to tailor your CV effectively. Okay, if you know you're a good communicator and the job description is asking for someone that is good at communication or is a good communicator, make sure that within your work experience, you write it in a way that shows that you have communicated, right? Communication is at the forefront within your role because you are required to speak to X, Y, and Z in so many different various of formats, from email, phone call, face-to-face, presentation, large group of people, small group of people. Like, give us examples of things that allows the employer to be able to daydream and be like, okay, this person is qualified. Okay, this person is qualified. Adjusting your CV's contents to relevant specific roles. Again, making sure that you adjust it. Don't think that one CV is going to solve all job roles. It's not. Even if it's the same job, different companies require different things within the same job title. Right? So don't straight away believe that your CV automatically fits every job that is under the title of what you're applying for. Okay? Now, when you read a job description, most job description will give you the keywords in which you're looking for them to understand that you are the perfect person for this role. So again, looking at the keywords that they're using, use that same keywords to explain certain experiences that you've had in the different various roles within your work experience. Okay, use the same keywords because then you're speaking their language. okay? Then you're speaking their language. Now, tailoring your key skills to the job description. So if you look at something like this, based on the following JD, how would you go about linking your own key skills to apply for this role, right? I'm going to read it and I'm going to unmute and let someone tell me how they would actually communicate their skills to be the best version for this role. Okay, so role overview: as a business coach, you will guide entrepreneurs in developing and launching their businesses. Through personalized advice, workshops, and ongoing support, you will help clients overcome challenges and achieve their goals. Key responsibilities: deliver one-to-one and group coaching sessions in business fundamentals, provide tailored advice and monitor clients' progress, facilitate workshops, create supportive resources, stay updated on industry trends and small business regulations, right? They're about you. So this is what they are requesting that you should have: experience in business coaching, mentoring or managing a small business, strong knowledge of marketing, finance and strategy, excellent communication and motivational skills, familiarity with UK small business resources and diverse community needs. Okay, now based on that, can someone unmute and let me know how they would present themselves or how they would write their CV to illustrate that they're the best person for this role? This is just a role play, right? And I need someone, whoever steps up to this, I really respect, because this is you actually thinking on the spot, right? And there is no wrong or right, but you giving it a chance. How would you communicate this on your CV to ensure that you're the best fit for this role? Can someone unmute and share? Anyone?
So I would probably be like, yo, I'll be like this. I've had previous experience as a business owner. I had a small business in this industry, and I had these clients. I had McDonald's, I had all these clients, and this is what I'm here to do today. This is why I want this job, to teach these people, these students, how to be like me, because I'm the guy. I'm the one they want to be. That's what they want to be.
Thank you so much for sharing, David. Thank you so much for taking that step forward and actually saying something, right? Thank you so much. Anyone else wants to also share how they would go about literally communicating on their CV that they are the best person for this role? Anyone else? Thank you so much, David. Anyone else?
I would, hi. So I'll
Hello?
start from probably focusing on, I'll start from, I mean, in hierarchy of the CV. So the list would be that, oh, I started a business in uni, and then the business failed. And that's actually, given me the skills required to actually understand the challenges of entrepreneurs. And then after that, I started another business, and the business has been successful, and I've been able to, grow it onto, say, 10 employees. And through that, I've been able to learn the challenges of like familiarize myself with the UK small business resources. I got into the BLP program, and through that as well, I was able to, get access to different resources and also understand what mentoring and coaching looks like. I can also talk about maybe if I'm doing something in church or if I've volunteered in, mentoring people before. So I can also talk about that and the fact that I have like transferable skills from there to that would be relevant to the job role. I think, yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing as well, taking that step. Anyone else wants to share? Give it a go, right? Give it a go. This is not about a wrong or right. This is just us giving things a go. Give it a go. You don't have to be the best, well-prepared person for this. I just want you to say something. Anyone else wants to share?
I'm more than happy to share.
Let's go for it, Patrick.
Okay, so I'll tailor my CV around this this job description, I'll give examples. So firstly, I'll say I started off my small business. Through this small business, I had a partner I was working with. He was handling finances, I was handling marketing. But we'd equally share the workload in a sense, and we would coach each other. Um, he wasn't too good with marketing. I wasn't too good with financing. But at the end of it all, the business is somewhat surviving. I've been able to bring up his marketing skills significantly. And I would say that I was able to do this through one-to-one conversations with him at the coffee shop. Um, and literally just add any further detail I need to add into the CV. But I feel like that will be a strong foundation to start off with.
Thank you so much for sharing. Fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that as well. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm going to move on because where I really want you, the things that I really want to speak to you about, I need to go through this before we get to that. Okay. Final tips, avoid common mistakes like typos, poor formatting. Okay. Right now, there is no reason why there should be a spelling mistake, because you can literally copy and paste your CV into ChatGPT and tell it, hey, can you correct all grammatical errors or spelling mistakes? Okay. Know when and how to include references. Include a personal branding statement. And this is where personal branding is super, super important. Because whenever I'm employing someone, one of the main things that I go on is Google and I search in their name. And I go on their Instagram, I go on their Facebook, I go on whatever platform that they're on, I turn into a detective. And in most cases, what I use to say yes or no to a person is based on how their digital footprint is presented. Okay? Because I employ based on character. Because I believe in terms of training, I can train you. But character, I can't train character. Okay? Focus on impact, not just task, right? And this one is very, very key. Focus on impact. So if you was given a task or if you had a task, when you completed that task, what was the impact of that completion? Okay. Make sure you focus on the impact. So this is where I talked about giving context. If you make a statement, you must give context just so that the person that is reading your CV understands the impact of whatever your involvement in that task made. Okay. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. And I want you all to see me because this is going to be the conversation that I want us to get to. As entrepreneurs and, starting a business and, the funding element of it, a lot of us are guilty of this. And I'm going to open a floor for us to talk about these things because these are the main points. Once you get the job and you're working and you're making the money, for some reason, whenever we're making money, we start to remember all the things that we want to do in life. It's almost like the moment we start seeing money, we start to believe that, okay, this is my time. I have never gone on holiday. I have never gone on a spa treatment. I have never gone on here. Like I see my friends doing X, Y, and Z, and I also now can afford to do it. Meanwhile, your objective, if you're starting a business, your objective for your money is very clear. You don't have the luxury to spend on X, Y, and Z. And I always say this, if you're and aspiring entrepreneurs and you see that your spending habits is the same as someone that isn't thinking about business or have any interest in business and they just living their lives, right? If your spending habits aligns with that person, that just simply means that the management skills that you have regarding the finances that are coming in is very, very poor, right? And there isn't a clear discipline regarding how to actually invest in your business. When you're starting a business, you don't have the privilege to go on holiday once a year. You don't have that privilege. At least for the first year, you cannot live like somebody who doesn't have a business. The takeaways, the going out, the buying drinks and things of that nature, all these things cost money. And when you tally it up or when you add it up in a month, you realize that, hold on, this money could have gone to actually put in some paid ads on my business service online, right? This money could have actually gone to paying a freelancer to teach me the basic fundamentals of marketing and creating results for my business. This money could have gone to me creating a website to ensure that I drive sales. This money could have gone to me finding someone to brand my business the best way possible. What I'm trying to say is when you have the money coming in, you need a very clear structure on how that money is going to be spent. A very clear structure. And when you go into the job, you need a very clear plan in terms of when you're going to leave. Right? When you're going to leave. It's very, very important that you have this understanding. When you're going to leave to go part-time or full-time with your business. That means in order for you to hit that milestone, you need to have been spending the money in the correct places. You need to. When I got into business and, you know, trying to make things work, I didn't have the luxury of having a lot of money, right? And I didn't go on holiday for a very, very long time, almost 4 or 5 years. I did not go on holiday. And the reason why I didn't go on holiday, because I realized that, look, if this business works, I can go on as many holidays for the rest of my life if it works. But for me to go on holiday and spend money that I don't have just to come back and start again is ludicrous to me. Right? But a lot of us find ourselves in those kind of experiences where we make the money, but how we're spending the money is like we're looking for enjoyment. Right? Maybe your siblings is going on a holiday, cousins are going on a holiday, maybe everybody's going out, and you know that the restaurant that you're going to, you can't afford it because you have bigger fish to fry. You know. Right? But the financial discipline of when the money is coming in is very, very low. It's very, very low. So in turn, you realize that the business has started, but the business is stagnant. If the business is not stagnant, the business is not able to generate the amount of income you need to go part-time on your 9 to 5 or to go to fully quit the business. Sorry, to fully hand in your resignation to let them know that you're going to actually run your own business. Right? A lot of us leave our jobs prematurely. Just because you start a business doesn't mean you should leave the job. Okay, so we leave the job to depend on our savings as a form of something that keeps us afloat. But it isn't sustainable because business is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So you need something to at least give you that cushion of, okay, I can pay my rent, I can pay my bills, I can buy my food, I can do all these things without stressing, right? That means I have some money coming in and I'm not using my savings, because your savings starts to run low and you start to panic. And then when you start to panic, you start to go back into work. And because now you don't have any savings, when you're working, you working becomes the main priority because it feels like you're starting again. When you start the business, continue working, but be very strategic with how you're spending the money. Okay, how you're spending the money. I want us to unmute, and I want anyone to speak to me about their experiences in terms of how they spend their money, right? If everyone is going to be honest, most of our money goes to ordering takeout. A lot of us, our money goes to ordering takeouts, or our money goes towards planning a holiday, and then we go and we spend money that we don't have, and we come back to square one. Okay, I want someone to share their experiences with me in terms of how they are managing their money towards their business. Okay, what they were doing before that they realized that this isn't going to work if I want to start a business, and what they have put in place. What have you put in place to help you to resolve some of the mistakes that you were making before concerning your financial kind of habits? Can anyone unmute and share?
Hey, Obed. For me, like I'm the complete opposite. Like sometimes I spend money like out with friends, going to a restaurant or something. Just sometimes, very, very rarely. But I don't have the problem with spending money and stuff. I don't take all the takeout. I'm allergic to vegetable oil, so I don't eat outside food and stuff like that. I make food at home. But the thing with me is that I make money at my job or something like that. When I was working, I used to make money. And then I don't focus on the business anymore. I just get really, really comfortable because um because I'm not living by myself. You know what I mean? I'm living with my parents, with my mom. And so because that's the case, I don't have the same drive as I used to. I'm not really deprived. I get too comfortable because I have a job now. Money's coming in my bank. I don't care about the business anymore because like now I'm trying to relax because I got money. You know what I mean? And
And
so
I totally understand that, David, right? And this is where I spoke about having a plan of when you're getting into the job, know why you're getting this job, right? Try to, if you're an entrepreneur, you have to see life more than just paying rent, going out and enjoying an X, Y, and Z, right? If you're getting a job, yes, you want to pay your rent. That is something by default, the job should be able to help you do, right? But the main reasons why you're getting the job, when you plan it around your business, you realize that, look, first month pay, once I pay my rent, this money is going here. A clear plan, a very clear plan of, okay, for the first 3 to 6 months within this job is going to help me bring in someone on a part-time basis. This job is going to help me do X, Y, and Z. And then you tick it off. You tick it off, right? But oftentimes when we get into work, there isn't a clear plan of why we're there in the first place. So when you get into it and you, at the end of the month, you check your bank account and you realize that, whoa, I've got 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, right? Because there isn't a clear plan, you would see it as you've got a lot of money. But then when your plan is in motion, you realize that, okay, this money is actually not a lot because I need to pay for this X, Y, and Z, right? That clear plan. We have to plan, and you have to plan your exit from the company that you're working for. You have to come in with, okay, I'm going to be here for 2 years. After 2 years, I'm running my own business because the money is going to help me get X, Y, and Z. So throughout the months that you're there working, you're ticking off the different things that you said you needed within your business, so that when you get to that a year, 2 months, your exit plan or your exit strategy is literally your exit strategy. You've left. And not that you've left to actually go and do someone else's job, but you've left to actually run your own business because you have been disciplined in investing in the business with the funding. It's a lot easier for you to fund the business through this way than to go for an investor, things of that nature, because most investors are going to ask you, what has been your investment in this business that you want me to invest in? And if your investment is, I have a dream, or I've got an idea, or I've done some research, that isn't an investment. We all need to put money in. So how much have you put in? If you really believe in it, how much have you put in? Okay. Can someone share with me some of the habits that they've had to put in place to help them to manage their finances better, and especially from the perspective of investing in their business? Can someone also share what they've had to put in place?
I'm happy to share. However,
Yeah.
I think even just the conversation now has made me reconsider a few things. I think on your initial question, I manage my money pretty well in the sense that I have a monthly check-in with myself. Like when I get my salary in, like I set aside automatically my 50% that goes to my necessities, and then I have my 30% left and my 20% left basically. And from the other 50% that's left, I take out 10% for my tithes, and then I take out another 10% for me to save. And then what are we on now? With the other 30%, I may like maneuver that in terms of if I want to spend money, I want to do things for my holiday, I want to invest in myself. Now, typically, how I've seen investing in my business is actually investing in me as an individual and my skill set. So things that I feel will be useful for me to learn from a business perspective. But I think what the conversation that we've just had challenges me, because I've never actually wanted to put my own money into my business, as crazy as that sounds. I always feel like in this life, there's so much money everywhere. Like I've always wanted to avoid bootstrapping. Um, but I think the point that you made about the importance of being able to trust in your own business and invest in that is really key. And so with the same model that I use, it's not like a particularly original model with the 50-30-20 split. I think now the remaining 10% that I usually have, where I might invest in a skill per se, I think I want to look more to like actually put in money in my pot. So I use Monzo. I use a lot of banks, but like typically I like using my Monzo account because I can create pots and see where the money's growing and where the money's sat in there. And so I think I want to take a step back now and move away from investing in myself as an individual. And by that, when I say investing in myself for my business, it's like one of the things that was really important for my business was getting a first response qualification. And so I put money aside to make sure I could afford the first response qualification. So I understood how it went. But now I'm thinking of splitting what was the 20% into two. So like actually saving for my business in the same way I would save for a holiday, or I don't know, like all the other random things that we have in life, as well as having that money aside for skills. So yeah, that's the model I use, 50-30-20. And then in the 30 and the 20 space, I break that down further for things, and I use pots because I'm a big visual learner, and I use the Emma app to like consolidate all my finances so I see it all in one place. But I always make sure I um allocate my money the day my salary comes out, comes into my account. And I also make sure in amongst that I set myself a salary I pay to myself, to get myself in the habit of the reality of once I'm running my business full time, have I built up the muscle to live on a salary that's slightly lower than my actual salary until my business salary supersedes and exceeds the salary I was being paid for my job. So yeah, I hope that will make sense.
It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. And I really, if you're someone in this session right now, right, and what Kiana said, right, what Kiana said went over your head, or some of the things that she was speaking about, you couldn't really grasp. Okay, I've never heard of that. Okay, I've never actually thought about it like that. What I'm going to tell you to do is to ask for her email and ask for a Zoom session, just 10 minutes of her time, for her to help you to get understanding of how to plan. How to plan, right? The planning aspect of it. Okay, because she has it down. She has it down. She has literally spoke through everything and how money comes in, where money goes, right? And why it goes to certain places. A lot of us, we end up spending money going in places that we can't even justify. Right? Sometimes you go to the shop or you go to you go and buy something, you realize that you bought things that you don't even need or want. Okay. Now, one thing I'm going to speak about, and I think there's been a few people that I've met during my time where the concept of there is a lot of money floating about, and I'm really glad, Kiana, you brought this up, right? There's a lot of money floating about, and why should I use my money if there's a lot of money floating about? Now, although right now, social media, and when we hear stories that this person got an investment, this person got this person has got this person did it, right? It makes it looks like the reality is there's excess amount of money. Yes, there's excess amount of money, right? But the question that we always have to ask ourselves is, do I qualify for the excess amount of money? Right? Do I qualify for that excess amount of money? If anyone approached me, right, and most of the, like, especially coming up to the December, January, February, right, I get a lot of influx of emails of people asking, hey, this is what I do, this is what I'm doing. Is there any opportunity for any investment? I know you have some expertise in X, Y, and Z. For some reason, a lot of people are looking for funding, right? And my only question when I read their portfolio and I ask, so what have you done so far? Is either they say, I have built a website and I have got my packaging, I have got my everything, right? I just need to start selling. And they quickly realize that in order to sell or in order to get customers, it requires financial investment in whether it's promotional materials or online or offline marketing, going out, like spending money to go to events that are maybe expensive, right? If sometimes we're so used to going to free events that we think that we can find people to buy from us at free events, right? But sometimes your business will require you to pay for an event that costs £100 to go to. Because anyone that's paying £100 to go to an event, I can promise you, is serious and is ready to spend, because they mean business for whatever you're looking for, right? Now, we have to get into the habit of investing in the business, right? And I'm so happy that Kiana said this, because this is an area that it looks like someone is going to give us the money to do it. But then when we start to look for someone to give us the money to do it, we realize that, wow, it's actually hard to even get the attention of an investor. It's so difficult, right? That's one. Two, for you to go through their questionnaires, And for them to give you that money, you need to have done a lot of things to show that whatever they are putting their money into is going to yield some level of return, right? If I have, or if anyone has been able to make a lot of money, that means they have a certain level of expertise to be able to identify if something is not worth investing in, right? And for me to be confident that you know what you're doing and you believe in what you're doing, you need to put your money where your mouth is, right? As in, put the money in the business. Let me see your first 10 customers. Let me see your first 15, 20 clients. Let me know that you can actually generate money that requires you not to work. Let me see that first, right? Let me see that if I give you this money, half of your time is not going to spend working for someone else because your business isn't making enough money for you to at least even live on or even pay your bills, right? If the business is not able to pay your bills, then the likelihood of your business making money to pay your bills and pay my bills becomes a lot harder for me to see. So you need to have created some level of traction. You need to have created some level of traction in order for me to believe in what you're saying, right? And in order for you to create that traction, you need to have been financially disciplined with the money you have and invested that money in the right places within your business. And this is why I always say, if someone asks me, oh, can you, I'm looking for someone to give me 5K to buy materials or to go to do marketing, my question is, okay, tell me how much time you spend on the business. I want to know from Monday to Saturday, where is your commitment at? Is it at, okay, well, I have to do my part-time because I need to pay my bills. Straight away, I know that, okay, well, okay, so you're not making enough money to pay your bills. So your time is spent here. Right, okay. My next thing I will say to you is, okay, come back to me when your time is 100% on the business. And I don't want you living on your savings, because when your savings starts to run low, you start to panic. And when you start to panic, wrong decisions are more likely to be made when you start to panic. i.e., let me quit. i.e., let me get a job that is full-time so I can make a lot of money quickly. So not only can I pay my bills, so that I can also invest in the business. You realize that it is a flawed way of building business. You need to be, first of all, financially disciplined with how you spend your money. And right now, and this is probably not going to sound good to a lot of people, right? Because we're all guilty of this. When you're building a business and if you're really serious, there are certain sacrifices that you're going to have to put or make in order for the business to flourish. It's very important that you quickly start to realize that in this life, the quickest way to get over things is to realize that you're not going to win every single thing. You're not going to be living grand whilst building a business that's sustainable. When at the start, it's not going to be as pretty. It's not going to be as enjoyable. It's not going to be as beautifully kind of like imagined in your head how it's going to be. You're going to have to make sacrifices. And your job within you sacrificing something is you have to pick things that you can afford to lose. Please pay attention. It's very important that you have this understanding that when building a business, whenever you're doing something, let me explain it in a very kind of easy way to understand, okay? Right now, I'm sitting here. I am speaking with you. If I choose to get up and leave my seat and I leave my house, I am not going to hear what any one of you are going to say. The sacrifice, or what I am missing, is that if I get up and leave, I am definitely missing something. That means any action that you take, any journey that you want to go on, understand that there is something that you lose in taking that journey. A prime example, if you're someone that is very, 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 very into sports, maybe you're playing semi-pro, you're looking to go pro, right? That means you're going to have to put in a lot of time in that thing in order for you to go pro. The time that you're putting into that thing deprives you of certain things, like spending quality time with family, spending quality time with friends, being present at every single occasion, because the sacrifice is that you are putting your all into something to become great, but in the process of you becoming great, you may also lose out on certain things because you can't be at different places at the same time. Right? So when I talk about when it comes to creating results, and if you really want to build a business, and it's not just a gimmick, it's not just some like fashion statement, it's not just a thing that if I put CEO in my bio, it makes it look like I'm doing something. And if you're really serious about building a business, you're going to have to give your all, because business is not an easy journey. You're going to have to give your all, and you're going to have to ask yourself, look, I love doing these things. I love doing that, right? Am I willing to not do it for some time to build this business, to give this business the attention it needs? Am I willing? Right? Because now in society, or the age we're in, we're told that we can have everything in life. We can have everything, right? But when you start to go through life and when you start to experience certain things, you realize that, wait, hold on. It's not necessarily about having everything. It's just about picking the things that I am not willing to lose and putting my all into it so I don't lose. Because in business right now, I make so many bad decisions in business. Please pay attention to this, okay? In a week, I can make about 5 wrong decisions that are wrong in a week, okay? But the decisions that I make that are wrong, I can afford to lose those 5 because I am strategic in my losses. I understand it's about wins and losses. I am strategic in what I lose. The things that I am not willing to lose, I make sure I don't lose. i.e., I do right by it. I give it the time it needs. I nurture it. I bring in experts. I bring in other minds. I have a different kind of ways of looking at it. I don't only just speak to myself, but I speak to the team. I speak to everyone to try to understand. I bring in people that have done it before, because this is not something that I can afford to lose. But in the process of me giving attention to the thing that I'm not prepared to lose, guess what? It takes away attention from other things. And the less attention I give other things, the higher the likelihood of me losing. But I am strategic in what I am losing. So I know that, okay, you know what? If we don't work with a client that's paying us maybe 1,000 or 2,000, okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I'm spending my energy on the client that is paying us 15,000 to make sure that that client never goes anywhere. I can afford to lose 2,000, 1,000, 3,000 because I have a client that pays 15,000. So of course, I'm going to push or put my energy, right? And this is what I talk about. It's not about winning everything in life. It's about picking the things that you're not willing to lose and picking the things that, oh, you know what? I can afford not to do this for some time. I can afford to lose this for some time, right? When I got into business, I was telling myself that, look, I would rather work hard, right, for 5 to 10 years of my life of just pure grafting, and then to live the rest of my years not having to work hard. Sometimes it could be 2 years or 1 year of working really hard just so that you don't have to work really hard, or just so that you can do the things that you love to do for as long as possible, right? But right now, a lot of us are in that ecosystem of, let me enjoy everything whilst I'm trying to build something that a lot of people will find difficult to build. Anything that is not a common thing to have, best believe it requires a lot of you, a lot of you, a lot of commitment. That means you're going to have to neglect something in order to put your all into it. So when I talk about getting a job, when I talk about making sure your CV, it reads clearly, when I talk about all these different things, I'm essentially letting you know that, look, if it's business that you want, then we have to have a very serious conversation around your lifestyle, right? Around your lifestyle. Because it's not about comfort, but it's about finding comfort in pain for a short period of time so you can enjoy, right? And this is why the last session, I spoke about a lot of the times we don't anticipate or we don't realize the journey that we're going on and the requirements and the sacrifices it needs. So oftentimes when something bad happens, it's almost like, it's like a surprise. Oh my God, I'm working too hard. Oh my God, I put 1,000 in the business. Oh my God, that's a lot of money. But when you count that 1,000 that you put in the business, you would have spent it anyway. You probably wouldn't have spent it all at once like that, but you surely would have spent it. At some point, that 1,000 is going to go. Whether it's on food, holiday, something is going to go. My only thing is, why not put it in something that can potentially bring you more so that you can do more of the things that you want to do in the future, right? So I just want you to reflect on these things and having a plan for your finances, because you need money in order to make money. And your money, not somebody else's money. Bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. Believe in yourself. If you're saying this is the business you want to do, believe in it. Believe that you're the best person to drive that business, and put your money where your belief system is in. Right? Cut back on certain things. I'm not saying 100% stop doing certain things that makes you feel like you, right? But cut back on things that isn't needed to grow the business. And just bring it in. Just do it for like a year. Do it for a year and just see the results you create when you fully put yourself in the business as a whole. Not half of yourself, not quarter of yourself, put everything. So your work, building the right circle, making sure that you have a great support system, getting mentors, like give your all, give it attention, and you'll be so surprised the results you create with it. Right? We don't start business, or we don't get into business expecting that our first year is going to be all banter, or our first year we're going to be cruising. It's an uphill battle, but when you get to the top, the air just tastes a lot better and feels a lot better. Okay. And I want to hear more about how you're going to start to become more financially disciplined. I said the first step, please, if Kiana is open for it, please get in touch with her. Even if you don't want to speak to me or any of our business coach, get in touch with her and just say, you know what? I really liked how you communicated, how you actually put your finances together, right? Are you able to help me with some template with that? Because I'm thinking about getting a job. This is how much I think I'm going to be making, right? Or I already have a job. This is how much I'm making. Like, what would you say the best places or the best tools to use? If you don't want to work with maybe myself or or Natalie, the other business coach, like you can actually speak to someone in here to help you. Okay. Can anyone share any other ways that any other things that they've put in place to help them to manage their finances more effectively? Anyone?
Yeah, I'll go. So I think finances, it's not an easy path. It's very difficult. That's the thing. And for me, it's more of a psychological thing. Like it's willpower, which is not an easy thing to do because in the day and age of social media, you have, people, posting, they're going on holiday, they're getting coffees or, whatever. Uh, I just try to like, it comes like, I do get that, what do you call it? Like, oh, I wish I could, do these type of things, like I wish I could go on holiday. Obviously I can, but I don't think that's like for me. Like, so it's for me, it's more of a psychological thing. Like, it's like it's there, but I'm gonna ignore it. Like, I don't ignore it, but it's like, I don't pay any like attention to it. Does that make sense? Like, I try to like not like give in. So, yeah, obviously it hurts as hell, but there's nothing, I just try to use willpower and just, uh, think about there's more important things like, so, but of course, like going on, doing the things that normal society do is important, but like, I don't really think I'm built for that type of stuff. So I don't know. It's like, so it's, for me, it's like first thing is the psychological willpower, which is not an easy thing. It's one of the toughest things, but yeah.
Fantastic. And you know what? It's not about you not doing something. It's about you not doing something for a period of time, right? Just so that you can create the results you need so you can do that thing that you wasn't doing for that period of time almost forever, right? The idea of having savings, going on holiday and using that savings and coming back to start again. A lot of us, when we go on holiday, the day before we're coming back to the UK or back to our reality, our mood just changes. It's like all of a sudden, it's like we're stressed again, back to square one. Whilst you're on the plane, we start to plan our next exit from the UK. We haven't even landed in the UK, but the reality that we have created for ourselves is so not pleasant. It isn't something that we feel that we can dwell in for a long time, right? And I'm saying that maybe it's not about you creating escapisms, right, every single year, but looking at the issue and asking yourself, can I face this on and remove this problem so that when I go on holiday, when I'm coming back, I am actually excited to come back because I'm coming back to a reality that I actually love. Right? And what I'm saying is for us to get to that point, we need to hold off and go through the work We need to do the work to get to that point, right? For some of you, it could be 3 months. For some of you, it could be 6 months. For some of you, it could be a year. For some of you, it's 2 years. For me, it was about 4, 5 years, right? Didn't go anywhere because I was so grossed into making this thing work. The time that I went on holiday, I went to America, okay? I went to New York and I watched my favorite basketball team courtside, right? And after I was done with that trip, I spent about 7,000 pounds, about 7,000 pounds, right? And after I spent that 7,000 pounds, when I came back to the UK, I was okay. I was okay because I could afford to spend that 7,000 and come back and not have to feel like I have to start again. Why? Because I put in the work to build a foundation that created a reality for me so that I can actually do the things that I want to do. But at the start, if I done that, I would have to come back and start again. And I probably wouldn't be where I am because I wouldn't have the financial capacity to be able to create certain results. Right? When you look at entrepreneurs that have acquired or have been successful, their start is never exciting. It's never living like the average person. Their start has always come from a place of just putting every single strength they had in their business or in whatever you're doing. Right? Please don't get sucked into when certain entrepreneurs make it, they then start to preach that, oh, you can do it all. You can still do this, you can still do that. But then when you look at when they started, they didn't do that. How many entrepreneurs do we know that have made a good amount of success of themselves and fulfilled certain purposes in their life, and they done it coasting, or they done it living like everybody else, right? At some point, you're going to have to roll up your sleeves, right? And get ready to get your hands dirty and be okay with it because you have a bigger picture. There's a purpose to it. Because the times that my friends were going out to eat and I couldn't go and I was telling them that I didn't want to go, right? And it wasn't because I didn't want to go, because I was very embarrassed about saying that I can't afford it, right? But I kept it to myself and I kept my head down. Right now, as I'm speaking to you, I'm sitting in Ghana and I've been in Ghana for almost a year. If I didn't have a solid foundation, I would have to be in Ghana for almost 2 weeks and I have to go back to work. That's the harsh reality of it. Okay? But I worked, and people that know me, I worked, right? Giovanni knows this because he witnessed everything from the start. I worked to get to where I am, right? So sometimes someone could look at maybe me and feel like, oh, you're lucky that you've never worked for someone, or you're lucky that, but the times that I was working,
Yes, guys.
it didn't make sense.
Yeah. I'll make
Okay,
you dinner,
please,
Mama.
please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Yeah, like you have to understand that there are sacrifices that needs to be made. I want to go on holidays too, right? I want to go and enjoy that place that has the nicest burgers. But I know if I do that, it's going to stop me from doing what I need to do for the business. So I wait. I wait for my time. I wait for my time. Okay. Can someone else share some of the things that they're doing to help them to make good decisions?
I would like to.
What tool? Let's go, Patrick.
So I graduated uni. My graduation was in October, so ever since I've been out of work and no student finance, and I was a little bit profitable, but obviously there was no job afterwards to continue the funding of that profitability. So I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but I'm not because there could be someone else out there that's in my situation in terms of like I'm receiving universal credit at the moment. So with universal credit is it's not amazing. Like if you're on it, it's not amazing. What they give you is it's peanuts, I should say. But what I what I was doing before I got onto universal credit and before I even started university was I would put money into like Forex exchanges. Um and I put money to stocks. I'm not like advising you to go and do this, but I knew that there was like a drawback to me doing that because sometimes the money would take long to come out of the account, but I know that it would always be there. And it got to a point in my life. Um I forgot that I had money in like a crypto exchange and to my surprise, it grew, but like I feel like it grew on me not to delete the app or if I wanted to put money in, I'll up, like download it again and put the money back in there. But like with that, it's helped me to save and like the whole hassle of taking the money out. So if I'm out somewhere and I need money. I'm just gonna think twice all my days. It's embarrassing just going through your phone, trying to sort out money. It's gonna be long. You might not even get that money that hour or for even that day. So like it just refrains me from a lot of financial burdens, and I feel like that's helped me out. But yeah, that's just a strategy that's helped me out. It could be useful to someone else.
Thank you for sharing that, Patrick. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Yeah, I don't mind mentioning a few methods as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually use the app called Emma. I pay for the subscription for the year because they generally do like 75% off of that, but it's really helpful to track what your expenses are. If you link all your bank accounts together. So yeah, it'll break down everything in categories and you can kind of see where you've overspent, where you've underspent, or where you can direct your money a bit more. And with that, I've been able to separate my accounts for different things. So I have one account specifically for expenses, one account for obviously like childcare, and then have set up standing orders. And then whatever's remaining throughout the month is that's what I work with basically. But yeah, Emma's a really good app.
Thank you for sharing that and dropping the gem around Emma because if you don't know about it, please, if you can get the link and put it in a chat, just so that for anyone that's interested can check it out. If you have any kind of money management apps that you're using, please put it in a chat for someone that may need it, okay? Because sometimes not everyone is able to be vocal about certain things. And if you put it in a chat, at least the person that didn't say anything will be able to at least click on it and get some information, okay? Anyone else wants to share some of the things that you're doing? Give me some experiences that you've had to deal with that you've worked on.
Mm-hmm. My name's Anita, guys. I feel like I've listened to what everyone has said. This won't actually be like my own experience, but it's something that I learned when I studied criminology and sociology. There's two terms called immediate gratification, and there's another term called deferred gratification. And of course, they sound like really long words, but in essence, what it really means is deferred gratification is somebody that wants to get the benefit of something, but they allow the process to take longer. So for example, like we all like food, we like tasty food, right? And it's easier to go to McDonald's, right? And get like a really nice treat or whatever. But we all know that's not the best option, but it's the easiest option. Now, if we spent a bit more money, like I don't know, go to Gauchos or something, it's going to take a bit more money. It's probably going to take us longer to get to Gauchos, but we're still going to arrive at the benefit of having tasty food. That's called deferred gratification. You're waiting longer to reap the benefits of what you want. Whereas immediate gratification is like, I want it right now. And sometimes getting something right now, you think you're getting the best benefit, but you're actually not. It's like, it's a very temporary feeling of okay, these trainers dropped today, let me buy it. It's a very impulsive kind of way of thinking. And I feel like when you're young and you're like, so you've got the influence of social media, it is quite easy to be drawn into like getting things fast money. But I think there's another quote I learned where there's no shortcut to anywhere worth going, meaning that sometimes the longer route is better for you. It's not the easiest and it's probably not the most convenient, but sometimes take the slower route. You might learn more. It's like if you take the longer route to somewhere, you're more likely to meet more people that could be investors. You're more likely to meet more people that are interested. They're more likely to maybe even just bump into people that will support you on your journey to get into where you need to be. So I feel like although it's easier to like spend money on clothes, food, holidays, there's an opportunity cost. The 3 weeks you spent on holiday could be 3 weeks you're spending on your business. So the opportunity cost is the cost of the opportunity that you have. Going on the holiday is not going to help you build your business unless you're going there for networking. I guess that's the only way that it probably would work. But these things that we're doing for pleasure, they're coming at a cost to our business or to your dream or to your desire or to the plan that you're building. Like some of these things, they're not necessary for now. We can all go to Dubai in 3 years' time and actually have the money to enjoy Dubai. There's no point going to Dubai on a budget, in my opinion. I feel like you just have to take the longer route. These things will be sweeter when you're actually established, when you actually have the money, when you have the time, when you're not worried about your annual leave running out. There's going to be a time where you don't need to worry about annual leave anymore. You don't need to worry about paying back your credit card because you actually have the money. You can afford to go on these holidays. There's no point putting yourself into debt for short-term pleasure. There's no point going on holiday only to now do the overtime and pay yourself back for the holiday. There's no point. Why not just go on the holiday when you actually have the funds to enjoy the holiday and not even have to worry about work when you get back or the credit card limit reaching its optimum or whatever. So for me, it's not personal experience, but it's just things that I've learned on my own journey that it's not good to always be impulsive. It's good to take your time. And I feel like, again, I'll just take it back to the main point that there's no shortcut to anywhere worth going. Like, if you just remember that, there's no point, there's just no point taking the shortcut. If you're going to do something, do it well, take your time and do it diligently. Yeah, so that's all I would say on that.
Wow. Thank you so much, Nia. Right? Everything. Like, because some of you will need to get a job. Some of you are probably in work right now. And these things that we're talking about is to give you a bigger picture. Okay, is to give you a bigger picture of what you say you want to do. You want to start a business. These are some of the harsh realities that you have to just come to grips with, is that I need to reevaluate how I spend my time and money. That's all. And if you're going to be honest with yourself, you would know what you need to cut back on and what you don't need to cut back on. You would know. Nobody knows you more than you. Okay. We know. Sometimes, a lot of the times I say to my friends is that sometimes some of the problems that we actually experience, we saw it a long time ago before it even got close to us. But we just ignored it. Right? We just ignored it. Right? Someone mentioned that when they get into the job and they start seeing the money, the business becomes less of a focal point, right? Because now they're getting the money, they're living at home, or things of that nature, right? And I always go back to plan, have a strategy to why you're in this role. A lot of us go into workplaces and we inherit people's beefs. We inherit the political things that are going on. And the reason why we can easily go into a workplace and inherit someone else's experience, and then it taints our experience or how we communicate with other staff members, is purely based on the fact that we don't have a sense of direction to why we're here. Because if I'm busy going north, and someone comes to me and tells me that, hey, let's go south, I'm not going to go south because I know that I'm going north. I know where I'm going, right? A lot of us have left jobs prematurely because of someone spoke to us about an experience that they had. We don't took on that experience. Then in the workplace, we almost expected people to treat us maybe the way someone else was treated, right? And through that, we built a lot of anger, we built a lot of resent, and we felt that, nah, this place is not for me. But this place was paying you good money to fund your business. But because we go in with no sense of direction, we inherit people's experiences and directions. Because if I go into a job and I know that this money is going to pay for X, Y, and Z, right? And I know the reason why I'm there and I know when I'm leaving, right? If someone comes and tells me that, now you need to leave this job because this job, they're laying people or they don't pay people well, okay, they don't pay people well, that's fine. But according to my maths, based on the business and based on my needs, this job is going to pay me enough for me to be able to do that. So I'm not going to leave. Although the person wants to leave, yes, they can leave. But there's no way I'm going to follow you because of your personal experience and your personal kind of goals and reasons why you're here, right? A lot of us, we get tricked out of our position based on inheriting, right? This is what I'm saying. I have a plan, have an exit strategy. Any workplace you go into, don't look at it as this is going to be my savior and I'm going to be here forever. Have a strategy, have a goal, have a reason why you're making that money and where it's going, and hold yourself accountable so that the money goes to where it needs to go. The money needs to go where it needs to go, right? Anyone else want to share? Because this is going to be a make or break for a lot of people. Anyone else want to share? Anyone else? Because I know some of you may want to stay back and speak with me. Anyone else want to share any experience, how they've seen life, just growing up, understanding, okay, you know what, like I'm here and I'm listening to a lot of motivational talks, I'm listening to entrepreneurs, I'm trying to read about their stories, how they started. What has it taught you? What have you realized that, okay, maybe I may need to do X, Y, and Z? Share that because someone may need to hear it. Anyone else? Nobody else? Okay. Now, this session, again, the session slides is going to be sent to you for you to use it as a way to create your CV, okay? To create your CV. But that's the easiest bit, right? Create your CV, get a job. The main thing I want you to take away from this session is what are you doing with the money that you're making? Or what are you going to be doing with the money that you will be making? Right? Think beyond surviving. Think beyond your bills. Think beyond buying food. Like, what is the money going towards? Okay. All right. I'm going to say, of course, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming to the session and listening and sharing your experiences and being a great listener. And I really hope you've taken something out of this because I want you to know the realities of it, just so that when something happens, it's not a shock to the system. I'm really, really passionate about you knowing the realities of it, so it's not a shock to the system, because a lot of people have quit because they've experienced something that is such a shock to the system that they shouldn't have just quit, because it's part of building a business. It's part of it. The experiences, the problem solving. Okay. Giovanni is going to put the feedback link in the chat. Please use the link and let us know how this session was. Okay, please use the link. The presentation slides is going to be sent to you. Okay, just so that you can formulate your CV and start applying for jobs. Now, when you start applying for jobs, if you need support with the job application, reach out to Giovanni so that he can schedule a meeting with either myself or Natalie to help you to create a good application for the jobs that you want to do. Okay, reach out to Giovanni. Giovanni, can you please put the feedback link in the chat just so that everyone can complete it? It takes less than 10 seconds. Okay. Those of you that want to stay behind and speak with me, ask questions, anything in that correlation, you can stay behind. You can stay behind. Okay. Please, when you finish completing the feedback form, let me know in the chat before you leave.
Hey,
Yeah.
Obed, I'm so sorry. Before everyone leaves, I had something to say as well. I didn't like. I know you gave me a chance, but I didn't. Like, I thought I was just waiting for everyone to say what they needed to say because I thought what they had to say was more important than what I had to say. But I guess it was important in the end. Anyway, the first thing is I've been trying to learn a skill, like trying to do website design, website development, coding, HTML and CSS, Blender for product mockups and this and that, and Photoshop and graphic design and this. It takes too much time. It takes too much time to learn this skill. Like it's really hard to learn the skill. For example, if you're trying to build a website, HTML and CSS, in order to get really, really good at that skill, it's going to take at least, I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year. It's going to take long. To get good at graphic design, it's going to take long. All these skills, you have to put time in them. You have to invest yourself into that skill. So I've been trying to do websites and this and that, and I realized, hey, this has been a waste of my time. I should have instead outsourced it to someone who could have done it to save time while I could have been working on other projects. And feel free to like correct me and stuff as well. Like I might be wrong, but this is just my personal experience. I could have been.
So with this, David, in order for me to give feedback on that, we would have to look at other things that you have going on, and of course, what the return is on you learning these different skills. Okay, and I would want us to have that conversation on a one-to-one basis, rather than in a group, because it's such a it requires so many different things that we have to uncover to be able to give an answer of whether it's right or wrong. Okay. But thank you so much for sharing. And I'm definitely looking forward. And I'm going to speak to Giovanni to put you with me in terms of your one-to-ones. Okay. I'm definitely going to make sure I have one-to-ones with you. Yeah. Because that's what I do. My key skills is within web development and things of that nature. And that's what Shapeways we do as well. We train people to become that. Yeah. Now, with that said, Giovanni, please put the link in the chat, the feedback link in the chat, just so that everyone can complete it. I don't want to keep people for too long. I want to give enough time for those that want to have a conversation with me to have a conversation with me as well. Okay. All right. Let me. Okay. All right. So Giovanni mentioned that there isn't a need for feedback in this session. If you don't have any questions for me, right? Any questions for me, and you don't want to speak to me after, or you maybe, you want to have a proper conversation with me, and you don't want to wait till everybody leaves, maybe you want to do it on a different day, this is my email. You can send me an email. I will try my possible best to respond as quick as possible. For those of you that want to speak to me now, you can wait behind. For those of you that don't, have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you so much for your time. Definitely a pleasure to speak with you. Your next session will be with Natalie, but you will see me in the background. You will see me in the background. I will be around, but you've got my email. If you need to speak about anything, okay, you can send me an email and we will schedule a Zoom. Right now, if you want to speak about something I don't have expertise in, I'm hoping that within my network, I may have someone with expertise to help. Okay, but you've got my email. If you need to reach out, please don't hesitate. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful evening. Those that want to stay behind and speak with me, you can also do so. I feel like nobody's leaving because it's still okay. People are leaving now. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Hugely appreciated. And I'll speak to you and I'll see you all another time. Thank you for listening. Okay. Those of you that are waiting, you can unmute and let's talk. Those of you that are waiting, please unmute and let's talk. If you want to speak to me at a different time, my email is in the chat. Okay, you can send me an email where we can schedule something. Okay, if you want to have a proper conversation, my email is in the chat. You can take it. Okay. If you want to speak, please unmute and speak. Unmute and speak. I'm listening. I am listening.
Hello, Obed. It's Patrick again.
Yep, Patrick, how are you?
Not too bad. I'd just like to thank you for the seminar you've given today, which really means a lot.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. So I just heard you mention at the end you're into like web development and stuff
Yes.
to do with that.
Mhm.
So recently, yeah, last year towards the end in December, I met up with I'll say someone similar in your field, and
Mhm.
I told him about WordPress and um other development sites like that, and um
Mhm.
he told me that those websites there's a lot of plugins and stuff like that, and sometimes with the plugins like the website moves slow.
Mhm.
And then he gave me an alternative, and this is
Mhm.
what I wanted to ask you. Payload CMS, if you have you heard of Payload CMS?
No, but there's a lot of web platforms that you can use to build websites. So I'm guessing it's one of them, but no, I haven't heard
Okay.
of it.
All right. All right. Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to know whether that's your thing because I really wanted to get to know it
Mhm.
because it does seem efficient.
Okay. What
Yeah.
you can do is you can send that. My email is in the chat. You can send me an email with the link. I'll take a look at it and we can have a meeting about whether it's what you need to use based on what your needs are or the requirements of what you're doing. Is I'll definitely take a look at it from an expert eye and give you feedback.
All right. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Anyone else?
Hi, Obed. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you so much for today's session. I felt like you were speaking to me directly because what's it called? Late last week, I was thinking of quitting my job this week. Not because I had a plan, but then I was just like, it's time for me to do my business, and I can't be giving all my time and energy to 9 to 5 and everything. But I think after listening to you today, I will definitely discuss with my manager the possibility of going part-time first. and probably just having, yeah, so that I can be able to free up more time. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So my question is, how do you sort of get clients in the UK? Because a friend and I, we decided to collaborate together to like start up a design agency. So he's like very good in, 2D animation, 3D animation and things like that. And my own background is in architecture, and I used to do like architectural visualization, and I like business as well. So business and things like that. So we decided to come together to like do branding services. I think I'm kind of still at the point where, okay, so where do we go from there to like start
Okay.
getting our clients and yeah, to be able to like build the business properly?
So if I was in your shoes, right, I would look at businesses that would need our services, right? I'll look at businesses and pick a niche, pick a very specific type of business. Don't try to go for all businesses, right? Pick a certain businesses within certain industries and target them, right? Go on their websites, look at what they're offering, right? And create almost like a taster of what you can give them. Yeah.
Okay.
Create a taster of what you can give them. And then go on LinkedIn and find someone that is in management role within that company and send them a message and just say, hey, this is what we've done. We've noticed your website could do with X, Y, and Z. Write a mini report to why, if they go with the designs that you guys have created, like maybe pick something and do, right? And say we can do more, we can turn your business service offering into a full-fledged of this example, right? Maybe pick a page or pick an animation that goes in line and write a report why it's going to drive their sales, right? Why it's going to improve their customer engagement, or why it's going to ensure that the client retention or keep people coming back. Write a mini report and send it to them and say, we're more than happy to speak with you and share a full plan of how we can actually make this transformation possible.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Do that, pick 10 companies and do that with. Okay. When after you're done, go to Meetup or Eventbrite, message event organizers that your clients, your potential clients will go to these events to gain information. Speak to the event organizers and ask them that, is it possible to actually present how companies can use X, Y, and Z that we do to maximize X, Y, and Z. So what you want to do is you want to create some level of credibility and influence within those spaces, right? And companies will come to you. But you have to see yourself as a thought leader within that domain of where you're operating, right? And work in line with event organizers is always the easiest way. If you can get on a stage presenting something or sharing knowledge, business owners or managers or whoever that needs to make decisions will come to you and ask you for whether it's consultation, right? Also try to look at it from you can provide consultation. Don't just look at it from us actually doing the work, right? Package yourself in a way that for consultation only, this is how much we can charge. For us to actually implement that, this is how much we can charge. For us to write you a strategic way in how you can actually maximize your profits or whatever through our agency, this is how much we can charge as well, right? So diversify what you're offering, not just by only just creating it, but also offering expertise in information, looking at what their existing mode of communication is, and letting them know how they can improve upon it. That should come at a fee as well. You can offer free 15 minutes or 30 minutes consultation, but you can come in also as an advisor where your business provides that to them. Okay. So these are the ways that I would enter into trying to get clients, right? I wouldn't necessarily focus so much on social media because I need to put a lot of money behind it in order for me to be even seen. Secondly, if you don't have any followers or people that are actually going to pay, then you're wasting your time posting, because people that are looking at it are probably friends or families or people that want to see you do well, but not necessarily want to buy from you, or maybe cannot even afford your package.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. Anyone else? Please unmute. Please unmute.
Hey, Obed, on that point, which I forgot, I didn't see her name, unfortunately. But on that point, you said two things. One near the end and the other one. So here it is. You said if you don't have any followers or people that, and then I didn't hear the rest of what you said. I'm taking notes.
Oh, yes. So if you don't have any followers or people that you know are going to buy from you, don't waste your time posting on social media. Get out there, speak to event organizers, or go to exhibitions, go to wherever the people that you want to buy from you are, and be a voice of authority, right? Be a voice of leadership. So speak to whoever is organizing that space for the people that you want to buy from you. Go and see if they can give you an opportunity to offer some insights, information on a stage, speaking to them, and they will come to you.
So go to event organizers. That was lovely, by the
Yeah.
way. Thank you. Just go
Yeah.
to event organizers, see if they will offer you a platform to speak and to do consultation and to
Yes.
do. Just please specify on the event organizers thing. Please. This is the only thing. Not the only, but you know.
Okay. So a prime example is if I build websites, yeah? If I build websites and then I get in touch with event organizers that have a community of aspiring entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs that just started up their business, I would want to go to him and say that, hey, I would like to run a workshop, right, or a presentation on how to maximize your website to ensure that you're driving customers, but not only customers, but paying customers, right? I'll put together a presentation on how you should lay your website out, the color schemes that you should use, the type of images that you should use, the type of keywords that you should be using to ensure that you're in line with the SEO with Google. So I would offer all these things as things that you should look out for. After my presentation, some of them are going to come to me to want to get some more advice. Then I can charge them for just the advice, or I can charge them to build their websites for them.
Wow, thank you so much.
Yeah, fantastic. Anyone else? Anyone else? Please unmute. Unmute. Anyone else? If it's no one else, Giovanni is going to start putting people in the waiting room. If there's no one else, Giovanni, can you start? Because right now it is 8 and I don't want to keep anyone. I definitely don't want to keep. Hello.
Hi. So you said it took you a couple years for you to build the amount needed to start your business and have some money to fall back on. I just want to know, how much was that? How, like, when did you decide that this was enough and it was time to start?
In terms of starting the business, or can you repeat your question again for me, please?
You said it took you a couple years to save for your business. I just want to know, like, when you knew it was enough for you to go off on.
Okay. So,
and how much that was.
Okay, so the savings, it wasn't really me because I was running the business, right? So I had money. The question was, do I spend the money on maybe going out or buying X, Y, and Z, or doing this, or do I put it in the business? And I chose to put all my money in the business, if that makes sense. So altogether, I probably invested around 4,000 in the business from my own pocket, nobody else, from my own pocket. Right? Now, when the business started making, when I was, okay, let me put it this way. So I don't want to give too much. Like when the business started making enough for me to employ someone, I realized that I have something. So remember, I paid myself and I was able to pay someone else. Yeah. And what enforced that was we got a contract with a referral unit that became part of their timetable. So for 8 academic months, we will be teaching young people. That will come to the center and we will teach them. So that money, I knew that, okay, this is good. I can actually duplicate this contract with a different school. And that's how I was able to navigate it. But I had to put my money in.
All right. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Hey, Obed, where do I get cheap packaging and like cheap stickers for like cakes or something? Like, where do I get that? Because I look online, it's expensive. It's not gonna like it's gonna really affect profit margin. I'm gonna be in the negatives. I'm not really gonna like, you know what I mean? So
I get you. What I'm going to say to you, David, is send me an email because I want to have a conversation with you where it's uninterrupted. Okay. I want to give other people a chance, right? Because I know it's getting late as well. So I don't want to keep anyone. Giovanni's also here that I know he needs to go as well. So like send me an email. My email is in the chat and we can definitely speak. Okay. We can definitely speak because I would like to speak with you.
thank you.
Pleasure. Pleasure. Anyone else? Anyone else? Giovanni, can you start putting people that have not been able to log out in the waiting room? Can you start doing that? If you can hear me, Giovanni,
Sure,
can
sure,
you start
sure.
doing that?
Sure, I'm gonna put everybody in there.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Right. Major pleasure working with you and listening to your experiences and sharing insights as well. All right, Dos Santos.
Yes. Let me just end the recording.